Hello, collective. It's been a while. So, I'm getting, for the collective, generally speaking, there is something about your environment, getting yourself, creating some pocket of peace for yourself in what you have going on, because it seems like you have a lot going on, but it's going to pick up and it's going to expand. But that expansion is going to be reciprocal. So it won't be, I feel like the current full schedule that you have and responsibilities is, those are very non-reciprocal for whatever reason. So they do feel more of a drain, more of a checklist, but this is going to be more of things that you want to do. So that is preparing yourself. There's a need to rest and prepare yourself for that expansion, because it will take that original investment, like anything worth doing, having, being a part of, connecting with. It's going to be something that is heavy energy. It's going to take a lot of energy, but you want big energy in return. That's how it goes. So for romantic situations in particular, singles or those who are in a no contact, in separation from your person, I'm getting the scene from the movie Tombstone where Doc and Ringo are there in the woods and they're supposed to have this duel that they've planned, and he said, "Say when." I was just fooling. Well, I wasn't. When they have that exchange, it's like, oh gosh, and it zooms in on their eyes and it zooms in on their mouth, and it's very, there's a lot of tension. So I'm feeling romantically there's a lot of tension. Now I feel like I've just spawned some sort of Tombstone fan fiction that's probably already exists. But there's this sort of tension here, and it's an inconsistency with the head, the heart. There's an incoherence between the head and the heart, a lack of balance, and not simulation, not even symbiosis, but like synergy almost. Like there's a short circuit or a blockage in the connection between the head and the heart, in making a decision, in taking that leap of faith, in pursuing the thing. Now that's cups energy. That can be because your divine path is woven with, romance with a partner, and finding your tribe, your people, and then finding the work pursuit, not just a career, not just a job, but your passion project that you bring into fruition. And it's a culmination of all of these things that is sort of a holy trinity within a holy trinity that keeps you on a divine path, sets you up for the success on a divine path, whatever success means to you. All right, let's go to the cards. So yes, we talk big love here. We don't talk, just like your next partner or whatever. So any low vibrational energy here, Tower and 10 of Wands. See, we were talking about burdens. So we're reading for the feminine first here. Even though masculine energy by its very nature leads, I feel that the feminine is, I don't know if it's like the ball is in somebody's court. There is confusion here, needless to say, because there is that sort of disconnect between what somebody wants to say, what somebody's thinking about saying or doing, and then what they're actually doing, what they want to do. Let's look more into this. So maybe it's in the feminines, and that's why we're going to kind of get to the bottom of that confusion between the head and the heart. My mind's telling me no. Oh, we got the Hermit in reverse. Could be a Virgo involved. We have Queen of Pentacles. All right. More Virgo energy. This is somebody who is in like a treacherous waiting. This feminine might be a little bit dramatic. Well, we have the Chariot here, Cancer energy, and then we have Scorpio with the Death at the center here. We're going to pull one more. What are you doing here, you timid little sucker? The Devil. Of course. Fucker. Could be a Capricorn involved, but in the feminine energy, we have a lot of major arcana. And these are challenging arcana because the Chariot, Cancerian energy, is the moon energy. It's lack of clarity, and it's just doing it anyway because you're following your heart. The Chariot fights for love and follows its heart, right? The heart space. But see, this Chariot here is armored up. So there is a tentativeness. There is a little bit of timid energy with this. This isn't like charging forth Spartans and all of that. This is like chugga chugga chugga, the little engine that could. Major pain, maybe something with the military, but you know, or maybe that you grew up around that time, that could kind of put you in your age bracket. But there's something kind of nostalgic. You could have a sister or a sibling that you watched that with growing up, and so maybe this person is going to kind of feel like family in a sense that it's almost like you can be as ridiculous, you know, you show all of your colors to your siblings, right? You guys grow up with each other, you're in a house together. It's like you see all the ugliness. There's no hiding it when you grow up in a house full of siblings, right? Or around a lot of people. But I'm getting this sort of, you're gonna be the rawest version of yourself with this person. But with being the rawest version of yourself, all right, this person they're putting this devil to rest. This feminine is putting this devil to rest. Which, you know, I had to get nosy and see which little fucker was trying to like, poke its head out. Of course it was the devil. That is the shadows, the attachments, right? Maybe this feminine has broken out of cycles. I mean, death is an ending of a cycle. Maybe check your Pluto placements, but this is the culmination of a past life full of shadows and attachments, codependency, very low vibrational behaviors and ideas about love and connections and what that was supposed to mean, because they're the Five of Cups between this death and this devil. And the way that the death and devil are here, they're like this, right? So this death is saying, I'm putting all of this little low vibrational little me, like the low version of an ego. Okay, you don't kill the entire ego, you transmute it. You tell the ego to grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. So there's some childhood wounding here, and this is saying I'm not listening to this voice, right? Could be issues with the mother, or, you know, fractures of the feminine energy in this particular feminine for whatever reason. And it had to do with cups, it had to do with emotions, it had to do with the heart space. And so to follow the heart space, this is very new to this feminine. It's weird. It's like they are gonna move forward. Well, I'm gonna show you a little trick. I feel like this masculine is teaching this feminine something so that they are sort of guiding them. And see, this feminine in here, this dark feminine, is yelling at this little male, little masculine. Wow, it's funny because it seems like, okay, so for twin flames, soulmates, whatever, it feels like there's, like you were imaginary friends to each other. And then you I mean, that's how I've described it many times, where it feels like this person and you've interwoven in such a way that you are, I mean, you trigger the hell out of each other. There's a lot of like tension here. It's like I feel the zooming in. It's like you're both reacting to each other. This connection is triggering the feminine, which is also triggering the masculine. And I feel like the feminine poured their heart out many times, because this could also represent the feminine in a past life, in a lower version of themselves, in relationships where they would yell their needs, their wants, their fears, all of these things at a masculine who was kind of a little punk ass child and was like nee boo boo, or didn't care, didn't listen. So it is sort of that cycle of, you know, a fracture in the feminine, fracturing a masculine, and they react to feminines in that way, and then those feminines are triggered deeper and deeper into these shadows, and there's something very intense. I'm gonna look at the masculine here because I'm looking. I can't even talk. Somebody can't talk. This is like one of those gator, or the little gator neck things, the balaclavas or whatever. I don't know. Because it looks like they're going across a desert here, so I get this sort of, and I would walk 500 miles, but this person's like chugging along. This, again, feels masculine. This death is in between. This masculine is part of this feminine's ability to say goodbye to this devil once and for all. Because this is the energy that the feminine is really in here. This is the blockage. This feminine feels like they have been waiting and waiting. They're all dressed with nowhere to go. Maybe somebody could have been stood up here, but then at the bottom here we have the Six of Cups, which is like this little boy coming into this little girl. You're going to heal. You're going to trigger the softest parts of yourself, but in that it's almost like I'm just getting like marshmallows and those plush blankets, you know, building like a nest. Again, like shit you do with siblings. Maybe you grew up with this person. Maybe they are, maybe you're friends with their sibling, or they're friends with your sibling. There's something about siblings here. But it feels very, you know, twinsies, you know. There's some sort of soulmate link here with the Six of Cups. And the masculine knows it. You're okay. The masculine knows that this is there, but why are we in the Four of Pentacles? They're holding back. And this feels like rejection to the feminine. Boo-hoo. I know. Ten of Cups and the Star. The Sun. Could be a Leo involved here. You could have a Leo placement. And the Devil again. Again, you guys are triggering each other to the point. Now, triggering is different than challenging, right? Triggering is thrown around as being a sort of very negative thing, but again, with the standoff here, the dueling pistols, and you could both be very sharp-witted back and forth, which is great for banter and verbal foreplay, but it's not great when you're talking about disagreements if there is some sort of deep-rooted trigger here, the way that you communicate in that triggered state. I mean, physiologically, there's parts of the brain that just do not, they're blocked off, right? That whole seeing red thing here. I'm seeing a lot of red here too, even in the happiest card, so the most miserable pain in the ass, and the happiest card, there's red here, which is the root chakra, which is the Devil, which is Saturn, Capricorn. It's all about letting go, releasing, and regrounding yourself. something needs to bring stability here, because otherwise it's like you're going to be in this dueling pistols, this I don't know, maybe somebody has like some sort of speech impediment, lisp, or maybe they just kind of stutter or get really nervous or tongue-tied around this person. But there is, it is almost like a playing banter thing, but if it's in the wrong context, or if you haven't built up that understanding, if you haven't had the communication and you haven't had the conversations about what it is, where it's going, anything like that, maybe you've met this person, Five of Pentacles. Yeah, it leaves somebody out in the cold. It leaves somebody confused and not knowing where they stand, feeling unstable, feeling like homeless, because this is the Five of Pentacles. This pictures, okay, well, here's the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. So that is a celebration and a date, setting a date, setting a reason to celebrate something. You may meet at some sort of celebration if you haven't met. So if you haven't, like Scar says, be prepared, you know. Be prepared. Be prepared for what? Yeah, again with the Tower and the scorpionic energy at the center here, there is this unexpected turn of events. And it's going to be, of course, what you called in for your highest self, but it's going to be quite a challenge. I'm feeling very anxious right now. Maybe you deal with, your person deals with, there feels like a lot of anxiety. So there's a need to ground your energy and chill the F out, right? Like, it doesn't have to be that serious. It's just a conversation, you know? Queen of Wands. I feel like this masculine is intimidated by this feminine. That's their devil. And the feminine is maybe guarded. So yeah, if we've got a timid masculine and a guarded feminine, we've got a standoff. Something about, yeah, somebody's gonna shoot their shot. Ooh, there's a whistle. Maybe somebody can whistle. Whistle while you work. Maybe you work together. Whistle while you work. I cannot whistle, so, you know. Five of Swords. There's a blockage of communication here. No duh. Why? Just tell me why. How can we fix this? Let's be solution-minded here. Come on. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is pursuing something, a new romance. Maybe there is that Three of Cups. I hate to say that there's a third party. It could just be energetic, but there is, the devil is all about attachments. It's all about the past, the ego, coulda, woulda, shouldas. It's not solution-minded. It's problem-minded energy. Six of Pentacles, Two of Cups. Okay, somebody wants to, like, elope. They want to run away. Nora Jones, come away with me in the night. Why? Why does this have to, it feels like a secret or something. Queen of Swords. There could be some cold bitch in the mix. Could be a mother. Could be this mother here. Maybe this feminine reminded, what was that? Liar, liar. Oh. Maybe that somebody's a player here, a liar, liar, or somebody that, like, I don't know, has a lot. Maybe this mother was a liar, liar, told them lies. Ugh, I'm getting that song from Pearl Jam, Alive, which, if you know, it's just a sickening song. So yeah, there could have been some sort of manipulation. We don't need to get too much into that. Y'all can talk about any of those things. You can talk about your own devils here. You're gonna have a conversation about that, but there is a blockage here because there's a lack. And there could just be a lack of communication. Somebody is very halted tongue. Six of Pentacles here, again, with the center. That's what is wanted. It feels like both parties want the same damn thing. So, ugh. Can we just, like, just do it already? Just do it already. What is that? Knocked up? Maybe one of you is Jewish. Okay, there you are. I knew these suckers came out. Thank you. Some clarity. Okay, so we started and we're ending with the Hermit. We've got the Hierophant. King of Swords. Okay. So there it is with the Queen. She's guarded. That Queen of Swords is not from, I do not feel that is a past person. The masculine views this feminine as being the Queen of Swords. Very guarded. And the Queen of Swords usually only needs one sword. She speaks her piece. She sets her boundary. That's it. If you cross her, you got to deal with the Queen of Wands, right? So this is the King of Swords. Because with all these wands here, this masculine sees that the feminine has been waiting. And they want to be this, I can be your hero, baby. I can, but truly, I feel like this masculine does want to come in and sort of heal and be the hero. Not that this is not like some damsel in distress. This isn't some like useless blob, you know, that's always depicted in romantic comedies and stuff. It's always the most obnoxiously weak feminine energy. It's the lowest vibration, and it's, yeah, come on. This is a Queen of Swords. It's someone who sets their boundaries. It's a very strong-minded, analytical feminine. It's someone who observes, gathers information, and is discerning with that information and what that information means to them. A Queen of Swords is not someone that you want to say the wrong thing to, right? And what is the wrong thing with the Queen of Swords? Because swords are all about truth. The wrong thing would be not the truth, right? So we get that liar, liar. This person cannot tell lies. That also reminds me of Practical Magic, where Sandra Bullock, again, she's a Leo. I think he's a Pisces. Aidan Quinn. Is it Aidan Quinn? I wish for you too. There was this wish, but it was a guarded wish. This is a guarded wish granted. I'm getting 9 of Cups here. Oh, maybe I'm getting 9 of Cups because it's right in front of me. Yeah, 9 of Cups it's a wish that's granted. 6 of Cups, soulmate energy, 6 of Pentacles. This is real, tangible, very nurturing and feminine energy with Pentacles, Earth, and Water. Some fixed energy here. But it's a lot of Earth, a lot of grounded, very holding energy. And you cannot lie to this person. So maybe this person was like, grew up around, maybe both of you, and this could be a big part of why you're mirroring each other. Maybe you both have maternal side woundings, and you're both cycle breakers for your maternal lineage, for the feminine, right? Because we have marriage and tradition. We have the Hermit here. This is Taurus and Virgo energy. This 2 of Wands is a decision between 2 things, but they're crossing each other. So it's almost like an integration versus a one or the other. It's how do I make 2 things work? 2 situations, again, with those burdens, it's a weight. It's like doing everything, being so hyper independent. Maybe being able to be in a partnership where you can pass the torch. Maybe neither of you have been in a partnership where you felt like the other person had your back, or you were supported, or that you could rely on them to make decisions for you. You know, what is it? The newlyweds game, you know? So maybe you were both in kind of short marriages, or one of you was in a short marriage. But it's like when you hear so many lies about yourself, especially from a parent, a guardian, particularly a mother. Garden? Did I say garden? Secret garden. Maybe one or both of you is into gardening, but it is like this retreat. This is a very introverted masculine, which is why they're showing up in the feminine, and which is why they're not pursuing this feminine, is because they are more in their feminine energy when it comes to emotions, in the sense that they wait to receive. The rejection that this masculine received from, I feel, a mother or a feminine guardian, primary caregiver, was so severe to their heart space. And that makes me very choked up. This masculine, as far as expressing their heart space, is like, I don't want to say it's not going to happen, but it's not going to happen now. So I feel that this conversation is going to be very direct. It's probably going to be more analytical. It's going to be a king to a queen of swords. It's probably going to be more about logistics, and things like that. It's not going to be about the cups. It will grow to that, but these devils are lurking here. We have the Fool, so somebody is going to take that leap of faith anyway. 7 of Cups. One or both of you could have a lot of options here, because we have the 7, 8, and 9 of Cups. So you're going from a lot of options, and the 8 of Cups is choosing which option works for you. A lot of times the 8 of Cups is choosing yourself. So somebody here, probably both of you, because I do feel that you are mirroring each other in a lot of very, very, again, triggering is confronting, it's challenging, it's how you grow. It's that necessary stress for growth, like building bones. You apply stress. You don't want to apply so much stress that you break that bone, but there is this balance point between, breaking your bone and osteoporosis, and bone necrosis. And that is applied stress. That's where the growth comes from. That's shadow work. So this is definitely a part of your shadow work. Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, Page of Pentacles in the upright is someone who is very slow, kind of maybe a little tedious. I'm getting tedious in the reverse, maybe. This could feel quite tedious. All right. We can get some numbers here. I mean, you're going to have to use your own discernment based on this conversation if you want to, if you want to be with this person or not. I read for divine energy, but I am, people don't operate to be a divine masculine. A lot of readers I see will talk about a divine masculine, divine feminine, or a twin flame like it's one particular person. And that if and they'll talk about a divine masculine or divine feminine behaving in really low vibrational ways. You are not by definition a divine masculine or divine feminine just because you are feminine or masculine. Or just because you're in a twin flame journey or whatever. To be a divine masculine, divine feminine means that you are true and balanced to that energy, to your truth. You are aligned. And anything out of that alignment is a shadow that needs to be evaluated. But once you tap into that, it's not like you you're not divine anymore just because you stray. You can still be divine masculine, divine feminine, and operate in ways that are maybe not completely aligned, but you're not going to be doing some of the stuff that I hear people talk about. It's like that's a karmic. All right. So I feel like that's the difference here. I'm talking for somebody this is a divine masculine, divine feminine. And it's very difficult with this energy, even though there are all these major arcana, because the devils are lurking here, and because there is so much of that tension, standoff energy. And of course, we always have free will and choice, whether or not we want to deal with somebody. But this is when you come into union in the 3D, when you come into connection or physical interaction with your divine counterpart. And this is hard to read for a divine, because it feels like you get so knocked off of your divine, like you maybe start to spiral into really dark thoughts. You feel like, like you want to do things that you shouldn't do. And it could be that fear driven completely fear motivated with the two devils here, reaction to self-sabotage or to run because of a perceived self-worth. And I feel like you've built your self-worth. You've been on a divine path. These are very independent, strong energies here with all these major arcana. These are people who have been through a lot of landmark lessons in their life. They're not just, beginners here. These are two people who are very stable in every other area of their life except where cups are related. Because they can have these conversations. They're very intellectual, strong-minded, discerning, decisive. They speak their truth. Maybe people consider them to be quite sharp-tongued or cold. They might perceive them as being distant or off-putting, because they're not like nice. They're kind. They're not unkind. They're just, but it is funny, both of them have these two swords. It's like they're mirroring each other in weaponry and everything. And in this case, it feels like, I don't kink shame here, maybe sword play is your thing, but I feel like this is more about words or lack thereof. Finally coming to a place where you're going to have this conversation, and you're both very sensitive to each other as well, though, because you're sensitive in yourself. To get up to this place, to build up to a place where you set your boundaries with all of this disruption of the cups, tells me that, and to be this flabbergasted, like this person's like, oh my God, look at all these options. There's been so much detriment to your self-worth and the way that you speak about yourself and the way that you talk about yourself, think about yourself, speak and talk about yourself. I don't know why I said that twice. It's quite redundant. But redundancy and repetition are important when it comes to affirmations and rewriting that script that was written for you. That's not your script. You can say, I read it, didn't care for it, not my genre. And you can, return to sender. So maybe speaking that out. My throat chakra feels very tired. I do feel like there was a lot of just talk and no action, right? So we don't have action here. We don't have wands. We have the sun, which is fire, coming out in two places. We have the chariot, which is all about momentum and movement forward, fast movement, but it's moving slowly. So we have the Knight of Wands, which is very fast moving energy, but they're met with the Five of Swords again. So that's the fear. That's why this is maybe putting this Knight of Wands, this Jack of Wands, into more of a page energy, because it's like they can't fight they're coming in all by themselves. They're coming in all by themselves. The hell does that mean? Queen of Wands. Man, this Queen of Wands, they really feel like this feminine is like on fire. They feel like they're too powerful for them. Like they're not going to be powerful enough. They're not going to be up to snuff. Up to snuff. Something about bullying. Somebody was picked on. Somebody was bullied. Somebody was called a lot of names. And it made them inactive. Like emotionally impotent. Ace of Wands. This feminine is sparking up this masculine energy, because masculine energy pursues. That's energy. That's basic energy, right? Masculine pursues, it is active. Fire is the most distinctly masculine of the elements. So this is speaking for the masculine coming in, but this feminine is very independent and seems to be, quite confident. But it's funny because there could be somebody this masculine could be putting this feminine up on a pedestal. Don't do that, masculines. Don't do that. Don't do that, feminines. Don't do that, anybody. You should never put anybody up on a pedestal unless you are helping them up there, and then you're going to climb up there after them. Right? We get on pedestals together, right? With teamwork. To put somebody above yourself means that, you know, like, there's this, that is not divine masculine energy here. We need to see some divine masculine energy. I mean, we have the most divine masculine energy with the sun here, but it feels muddied up. It feels kind of like a light has been dipped in mud and clay and dried over, and it's burning in there. Like, it's in there, that sun, but it's got all this cold, damp clay, and nothing's growing out of it. There's no growth. That garden, I feel like something about like a secret garden. Somebody's garden was killed off. You know, it's like somebody sprayed their lies all over it. And so this masculine was not in like a pursuit, active based masculine energy. They were more in a feminine energy of receiving, but because they are actually a masculine, they are on the path of being a divine masculine. They're just not in their divine energy. Or they weren't for a long time. They are now kind of resourcing their power. And a lot of that resourcing comes from this feminine, but this feminine is simultaneously like confronting these shadows at the same time. So it's like trying to, you know, light a match, and then one breath with the swords, one breath, one word can make that flame go away. There's a lot of anxiety and fear with this masculine about approaching this feminine. Come on, masculine. Get over yourself. Okay, there we go. There's the Chariot and the King of Wands in the masculine here. There's that Two of Wands and the Hanged Man again. Okay, so maybe somebody was dealing with a Pisces, or this masculine could be a Pisces, but they were in this Hanged Man energy. So they were waiting for a reason. They weren't just waiting for no damn reason. Okay? See how their head, their crown is illuminated. This masculine, like the devil. I mean, if you get more into like Luciferian and you start to resource or look or whatever, okay, this is not the devil like Satan the devil. This is the ruler of the ego. Okay? That's how we talk about the devil here. Because it's not good or bad. We all, God and the devil live through us, light, dark, everything is about duality here. Okay? So this masculine gets their information, which is very scorpionic energy. They could have strong Scorpio placements. They could have a stellium or have strong placements of Capricorn as well. But it's very much just like Mars. They draw their energy from the night. You know, they could be a water sign, which draws their energy from the moon. With the Chariot here, Cancer, we also have Pisces with the Hanged Man, but it's very feminine energy to draw your information from the moon. Maybe they're more active at night. They could be more of like a night owl. Naturally, maybe they can't be, and so they haven't been able to be as creative or expansive or philosophical and really get into the expanse of their mind, but they have a lot of feminine 5D information, but they have sort of maybe just been in the humdrum of the 3D because of life and burdens and tasks and responsibilities, and not everything's a burden, but it's a lot. I feel like this masculine has not had any reprieve, and then they see this feminine, it's like, wow, they just, come on baby, light my fire, you know. And this feminine was sitting over here kind of like thinking like, maybe my torch is just not bright enough, but this masculine's like, girl, you're the sun. You're the sun here. Okay, so once you guys move past the like nonsense of making this choice to just come forward into a whole new way of being, because this masculine's never, I don't think this masculine's ever approached a feminine. They never really chose a feminine. maybe they felt like the feminines chose them. There could have been like desperation about, because they maybe thought so poorly of themselves. But this is, once you start doing that throat chakra work, you start creating, you start affirming things into being, into states of mind, then you realize how powerful you are. You realize that you are both. I mean, you've got the king and the queen of kings. The king and the queen of kings. This masculine thinks this feminine has a lot more options than I think this feminine thinks she has. Because these are options here, but like, I don't think they are even, this feminine's not looking at any of those options. None of them are illuminated. They're just sticks. That's all it is. They're just sticks. That's all they want, right? And it rhymes with sticks. Okay? And the King of Wands here is like, oh, I got a stick for you. Look at this fucking staff, this wizard staff. This is a magician. This is somebody, again, Virgo, Gemini energy, Taurus energy. That's the throat chakra. That's the creator. That's somebody who is confident. They speak their mind. They speak their truth. They speak their truth into existence all around them. And it shifts the energy around them, because lies are very contagious, right? Like a cold, but they're fleeting. But it's like, the truth is like eating well and treating your body and your mind well and being healthy and active, you know, that is long lasting, right? That's not just like a fast. That's not just like a little fad thing. That's what a lie is. A lie is like a fad truth. It's a little trendy truth. It's very fleeting, and it may come back around in a couple decades, but it's very fleeting. So this is very challenging. It's confronting. I like it. It is heavy, hard, very solid energy though. This is the kind of energy, and I'm looking at this Utah deck of cards here. It's like, you know, Stonehenge or whatever. Whatever you believe about certain rock formations. Even the small ones, the Cairns, Sagittarius energy, still breathing. Again, your space. Back to just the collective here. Your space, your breath work, your environment. Go to your five senses. That is the Hierophant, Taurus energy again. Go to your five senses and try to do whatever you can. There's no try, Yoda. Just what you need to do is go through your five senses and find what's irritating you. There's a sound that's irritating you. There's something is like clouding your mind, your space to think, to hear, to see all the other things around you that connect you with that truth again. But this is like, when you put those little rocks together, they can outlast a lot of, they can weather a lot of weather. They can weather a lot of storms, challenges. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, this is going to be a very strong cycle. It's breaking a cycle of waiting around and feeling like you're left out in the cold, confusion, questions, any of that. This is something that's going to bring a lot of peace there, and it's solid. Once it's in place, it might take a lot of work to get that boulder up to the plateau there. But once you get it up there, it's going to outlast all of the nonsense around it. And try as it may, the wind will blow, and the rain will fall, and the lightning will strike, and yada, yada, yada. But that boulder is not going anywhere. You could have had multiple separations here, or multiple disagreements, confrontations. Queen of Cups, King of Pentacles, so there could be a water sign, and this could be an earth and a water sign dynamic. But I'm getting a song by Little Dragon. You could be the Year of the Dragon, one of you. But it's Twice by Little Dragon. Twice I turned my back on you. I fell flat on my face but didn't lose. Say when. Someone was ready. Twice I turned my back on you. There could have been a realization that Somebody self-sabotaged. I'll just pull a couple numbers here. 135. We'll pull 4 numbers here. 1, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's 2 and 3 are missing. 2 is a decision. 3 is maybe that 3 of Cups. So it's the decision and the celebration. So somebody needs to make a decision so that you guys can celebrate this instead of being in this limbo. How low can you go? That seems a little snarky. How low can you go? Yeah, I get this game playing. I get a little bit of this sort of kind of like, you know, when you're little kids and they tell you he's just not that into you. The movie, he's just not that into you. The beginning, they talk about, oh, the little boy pushes the girl down and the mom says, oh, that means he likes you. You know, there's a shift in how you want to show and receive love with people. And it's going to be completely new to both of you, but it's going to be, of course, very healthy, very balanced. And there's not going to be that confusion. There's not going to be the question marks. You're not going to be up at night, you know, there's none of that waiting for, you know, like that 9 of Wands. Only one of those wands was lit. This person's waiting for breadcrumbs. There's no more breadcrumbs. There's no love bombs. And it doesn't even feel like they're bombs. It feels like they're those little the little white pop rock thing. The pop, pop, pop. That's about the most bomby-ish, I think, the last few or maybe all partners that you've been with before. Just very minimal effort, non-reciprocal, non-supportive, non-validating, you know, and people can say that you don't need that, but we're all just, you know, broken ass adult, you know, older children. That's all. We've just been here for different amounts of years, but we're all at the center when it comes to love and connecting romantically. You go back to your very basic mechanisms and sometimes reactions. I mean, reactions, hopefully you grow out of those, you know, but you can't change your feelings. You can change how you react to them, but it's, you go back to, you just a very sort of almost primitive state when you are that vulnerable. If you're willing to be that vulnerable. I mean, it's a challenge and it's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. So, yes, faint of heart, I was thinking that. I'm very dehydrated right now. Drink water. Anytime you're dealing with cups, you're dealing with water, you're dealing with emotions. Do things to nurture your water energy, because we are made up of the elements, right? So energetically and, you know, biologically, if you go out geologically, I don't know, something about rocks here. Like penguins offering the rock, the perfect rock, you know, or a proposal, right? Maybe you're going to be getting like, ooh, look at that rock. I don't know, whatever you're into. But there is something very solid about this. And in the movie, everything all at once, everything everywhere all at once, the scene where they're just the rocks, there's something so, like, you can just sit in silence with this person. But I do feel like you will have the most beautiful conversations and exchanges and connections and all of that. But I feel like you could just sit with this person. So it does feel very grounding. But damn, that was it wasn't a roller coaster. That's the good thing. I think you've dealt with a lot of roller coasters. It felt like an uphill battle. But the good news is I feel like you're both pushing that boulder up the hill together. So you're not just pushing it up there by yourself. This is, you know, like I'm getting in Friends where they're moving the couch. Pivot, you know. Friends, yeah, maybe you've grown up together, you're friends. There's some sort of past life sense, like you're going to feel very childlike with this person again. You can just kind of like swing next to each other. You don't have to fill the space with nonsense or small talk. So yeah, hopefully there was something in here for you. It feels like a great connection. You know, and even after all of that, a lot of times when I do a reading that has that heavy of an energy or blocks, I feel sort of like, oh man, I could take a nap. But I feel like, ooh, I can like go do something. I feel energized. This is going to be very reciprocal, which means it's like a battery and an alternator. You guys are going to keep each other charged. You know, it's not, you're not just going to be without it. I don't know, maybe one of you's into mechanics, but yeah, my mind is on mechanics right now. So that's the way that I channeled it. But that feels like, you know, you've been with a lot of people. I feel maybe just one person, right? I don't want to say you've been with a lot of people or anything. There's no judgment, but I do feel like it has felt like cycles and cycles of the same energy, but it's cyclical, like SICK, maybe made you feel kind of ill, mentally, physically, all of the above. But very drained, like a drained battery, and you just gave and gave and gave the juice, and you didn't get the juice back. Like it was just sucked. You were sucked dry like a vampire. Made its way into your home. With the song "There's a Stranger in My House." Yeah. Okay. Well, we don't need to get into the past energy. You know that it sucked, and we don't want to do that again. So this is going to feel. This is going because it's going to be so affecting and confronting, and it's going to be very provocative. It's going to provoke, right? I've given a lot of connotation. Words are going to be messy here, but anyway, you guys will get it together. Once you get it together, once you get the right communication, like, oh, my left is your right. Once you have the conversation about your own individual perceptions of maybe what relationships mean or whatever, once you get through that conversation, that Ace of Swords, once you have that conversation, it's going to be like, oh, well, we could just push this up here together. It'll be work, but I'm here. Are you here? Cool. Let's go. And then you're going to be, there's a very kind of fierce loyalty there. And it's longevity. It's not an obsessive loyalty. I feel like I needed to say that for some reason. So that was for somebody. So thank you for your patience with technology. We'll see how this one goes, and if you've made it this far, then it went okay, and we'll keep doing that because I miss interacting with the YouTube people. So I'm coming out. Yeah, everything you need to know, you know where it is. Black and yellow, and I'm actually looking at a black and yellow stripe, so maybe something with that. I don't know. Maybe that will be a sign, or you'll hear that song when you meet this person. I don't know where you'll be in like a very retro club, but yes. Thank you for your support, and I hope there was something in here for you that offered encouragement, resonated with you, made you feel a little bit less like, am I the only one going through this? You're not the only one going through this, right? No. If you're on this journey, you know, you all go through this. We all will go through this. Have gone through this. May go through it again. And then maybe next lifetime. All right. I'm rambling now. Yep. Thank you. And until next time, I wish you well.